Hi Flosstube, it is Cynthia here, the Intuitive Stitcher, and it is Thursday, May the 15th. It's in the afternoon. It is around 20 minutes before 2 o'clock, and I'm in a different spot because I have to ice my knee, and I'll get into that later. I won't get into that now. So that if you don't want to hear about it, you can just go on to your next Flosstube. So anyway, I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome my subscribers, and I do have a few subscribers, which I'm always very appreciative for. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my video, hitting that like button, and for your comments. I do read all of your comments. If there's a time when I don't read your comment, please comment again to let me know that I missed it. But I try to reach and respond to everyone's comments. So this is Flosstube number 58. I don't think you care, but I always mark it down. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you like what you see. I have a few WIPs, not many. I'm going to be reaching because I have a chair here with my things on. I was running errands this morning. I went to my doctor this morning, so I have to rest this. So you're going to see me moving around a bit. So I have for May the Magazine Monthly Challenge, which is this. So I did work on a few things, as you can see. I have 4 things that I need to work on from the acrostic Mahogany by the end of the month. And then I'm doing Mirabilia, so every week I work on Portrait of Veronica. And this is WIP Go, that I will be working on those 2 pieces. I can't read backwards. And I am doing the stitch along Winter Rose Manor that I also will show you. Okay? So the first thing I want to show you, and this is out of order from the way I wrote it all down, I will look over here to see, to tell you what I'm working on and stitch count and all that. I didn't take anything out. I apologize. So I'm working on the Heaven and Earth Designs Mini Dark Waters. That is this picture. So I do have a few stitches in that one. I'm going to keep it in the hoop though. So I'm working in the upper left corner, and you can see some of the color variation now. It's lighter, and I am working right up here because that's my string, so I know where to go next. So you can see colors coming through. Let me show you the design again and where I am. So I'm up in this corner here. So it's all kind of dark. And then as I go down more, it's going to be like the more gold colors. And let me get this. That is the right way. Yeah. So that's that. And I am working on, I'm sorry, this is all close to me. I'm working on a 25 count Easy Grid Lugana. That's that one. I'm working on my Mirabilia Portrait of Veronica. This is Portrait of Veronica. It's my Mirabilia Portrait of Veronica. She's done on 32 count Star Sapphire Linen, by which is the called for. I also have this in the hoop. It's just easier for me. Let me take the graph away. Good Lord. this is where I got. So I did some more. You can see I filled in over here. That was quite bare. I filled in that, and then I came over here to start this. A lot of these empty spots are going to be beads, and I'm positive that these will be beads right here. So I filled in here, and this is my string that came down from above. And then I started over here. It's pretty. I'll put stitches in this once a week. Put my graph back. And everything I got for here, I got it from 1 2 3 Stitch because I got the fabric. I didn't get the floss. I buy the floss myself, but I got the fabric and I got the beads from 1 2 3 Stitch. It can come, you can kit it up if you want like that, and with all the floss if you want to, but I thought I'm just gonna get the floss on my own. And I'm using all the called for on that. The next one is Lemon Tree Needleworks. This is called Halloween 1, and then after Halloween 1 it says DMC SQ or something like that. I don't know what that means. Lemon Tree Needleworks. I'm using 28 count Easy Grid Lugana. So I'm just start doing the top back and forth. I'm going halfway over. And this is the, that's the pattern. So I am up here. So it's very dark. So you're not going to see much, but I did get quite a bit of stitching in. And then here, over here is where it kind of, those empty spots is where it changes color to a little bit of a, I think it's a lighter dark color. I'm doing 1 over 1. So you don't see much there. Also on Mini Dark Waters, I'm doing, that is 25 count. I'm doing 1 over 1 with that one. This is 28 count, 1 over 1. The next piece is, you know what, I have a giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. Because I hadn't done that maybe the last 2 times. So excuse me. The first one is from the Prairie Schooler. It's called Amish Life, and this is the pattern. It's pretty. It's funny because I'm going to Lancaster tomorrow, so I have to behave today with my knee. Amish Life. If you're interested in this one, you can say anything about Amish Life or number 1, either or, whatever you'd like. Whatever you'd like, number 1, or just say something Amish about Amish Life. Real simple. The second giveaway is Sheepish Designs Peacock Garden. That's this one. Sheepish Designs is the company. The pattern is Peacock Garden. It's pretty. So if you're interested in this one, you can say Peacock Garden or number 2. If you don't have anything to say about peacocks or gardens, you can say number 2. Okay. What I ask that you do is not mention the giveaway in the comment section. Don't say giveaway, don't say prize. Don't like I'd like to win the giveaway, I'd like to win the prize, because what I understand is that people who troll Flosstube videos or any kind of video, they try to win a prize, and I think what they do is they sell it. And I want people to stitch on this. I want my viewers to have a piece where they can stitch on it. So those are the 2 giveaways, and you must be 18 or over because I do have to ask you for your address. Okay, so that's that. And then I worked on Elizabeth Bennet of Jane Austen. This was a freebie from Twin Peak Primitive. I can't even talk. Twin Peak Primitives. If you've been with me for a while, you've seen this before. I had another one that I showed recently when I was visiting with my daughter in South Carolina. I showed Evening Prayer. That I also did. She has that one. That's her. So I did get quite a bit done. I met up with the stitching group, and this is the piece I took with me. So, like I said, I did get quite a bit done. And this is done on 18 count Aida. I'm using anchor thread 0403. Let me back up a bit. So I got the book done and the bookmark. So now I'm going to be just going all the way across until I get to here, and then I'm going to outline some more. I'm not crazy about 310, and I'm not crazy about this anchor, which we can't get anymore. I don't know. I just don't like the white that you can see. But my daughter's, the one I did for her evening prayer, looks nice. You really can't see when it's hanging on a wall. It's pretty. So I like this one. And then, like I said, I'll get this out again. Probably when I go with my stitching group, I'll get this out again and do some more with it. Because it's easy. I can talk, which I love to do, to anyone. I'll talk to the receptionist at the doctor's office and make her laugh. And my dentist loves when I'm there, because they said, I always say I talk too much, and they say, no, we love when you come in because you have such neat stories. So anyway, I can talk and stitch with this one because I really don't have to count. I don't know how my friends feel about that who are stitching and counting. They probably think, oh, when will she ever keep quiet? So, but they never say anything to me. Anyway, maybe if I used my intuition, I would know what they're thinking. That could be dangerous. Okay. The next piece I worked on is from Imaginating. It is called Green Christmas. I'm using one color. I'm just not crazy about variegated threads. I know a lot of people use them. I'm just not crazy about variegated thread. This I have to take off because it's in a hoop. Do you use a hoop? Or do you use scroll bars or a Lowry stand? Let me know what you use. I like hoops, and I can't stitch in hand because my tension is never even. So I cannot stitch in hand. I think if I would practice enough, I would be able to. But I'd rather stitch than practice. So I'm going to put the needle in here so you're going to see the needle. I'm stitching this on white Aida. Surprise, white Aida. I do other fabrics. I used to do all white Aida back in the day when, you know, that's what everyone stitched with. This is a 14 count white Aida. I'm using 3818 DMC, which is green. Let's see if this shows up. I'll put this behind it. So I started the bow at the bottom. And let me show you the bow and well, it's a bow and bells. So that's where I was working. I got pretty much done with the bow and part of the bell. So I'm happy about that. This is a pretty piece. And when it's finished, I think I'm gonna frame it with a dark green, like a green, to match the floss, that kind of color. That's Green Christmas. So I'm gonna put that. Now I'm getting warm. You know, I was out today and, well, I don't have anything open really because it was cold during the night here in Northeast Pennsylvania. But you know what I'm going to do without dropping anything? Turn my fan on. Something, what is that? Oh, you know what fell off? This, this little thing that's, you see that? It goes on there. It screws. I gotta tighten that. I loosened it to take it off. So I want to put that on. I'm glad I heard it drop on my chair. God knows where it would be. I don't have any animals, so that's the good thing. I was just at the shelter. I'm supposed to be behaving with my knee. Imaginating. The next one is my stitch along. This is the last piece I have to show you. This is Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. If you have it and want to join us, please join us. I will have a Winter Rose Manor video coming up at the end of the month to let you know what we will be working on for June. I'm not going to tell you now. I already know, and Chris is our person. Chris is the one who decides which block or blocks or motif to stitch. And I do remember this time, Chris. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks if I don't remember. But no, we talked about it twice, so I will remember. In fact, I'm looking right now. But I'm not telling anyone until the end of the month because we have to finish May's stitch along. If you want to join us, because you can always comment where you are at, and if you're following along, and if you're keeping up, or if you're a little behind. This is by Brenda Gervais, and this is the piece that we're stitching. Now I'll tell you what we're stitching. Let's hope I don't mess this up. I'm going to grab a pen because that works best for me. We are doing the bottom right here, all the way across. The vine and the flowers only, or buds, they could be buds. The vine and the buds all the way to the end right here, that last one. So across the bottom, the vine and the buds is what we're doing for the month of May. Last Winter Rose Manor stitch along, I did point out that the graph, if you have the graph and you're doing this with us, the graph is different than the picture. I did have that written down to explain it. Let's see if I can find it. I think I can explain it without the paper, but I found the paper. This is a copy. Across the bottom, the vine and the flowers. So the first two top flowers, the empty spaces in the graph are different than the empty spaces on the picture. And I'm talking about this and this. it's different on the graph. The spaces inside the buds. If you have it, look, because you will see it. The bottom two and the top two. So here are the instructions. I can't read it backwards. If you look at the design by Brenda Gervais, and then you look at the graph that we stitch from, it's different. So you can stitch it as it is on the cover page, or you can stitch it as it is on the graph. It's your choice. I have it in a hoop. I should have taken it out, but you know what? It's not the end of the month yet, so I don't have to take it out. I can show you where I am. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's where I am. So I have the spots all on the bottom part. I have them all spaced in this corner like that. And the top ones I have all in the middle, like the cover, because it's different on the graph itself. So check it and you'll see that it's different from the pattern on the cover. I'm not gonna, what is it called, overkill. What I'm telling you, you'll be able to see, because you're all stitchers who know what you're doing. I don't. Chris had mentioned it. She's got the eagle eye, and I said that before, and she really does. So anyway, because I would have missed that, because I usually don't look. Sorry, I was fixing my hair. I usually don't look at the design cover, the cover. I just go to the graph and I stitch away. So I'm glad that she is able to point those things out, because that's not the first time with this pattern that she did point that out. It happens. I get it. You know, it's a good thing I'm not graphing anything. That's all I can say. So that is Winter Rose Manor, and I'm going to come to you before the end of the month. Where's my calendar? I'll come back to you probably just for Winter Rose Manor, probably on the 29th or the 30th, to talk about the June motif that we're going to do, and then my next floss tube for finishing up my acrostic WIP go. My hair's really messed. Oh, I'm getting it colored today, this afternoon, 4:30, and a little trim on the bangs. It's not going to be dark. I want the gray to keep coming through, but so I'll have it colored like lighter, not dark, so it blends. Anyway, floss tube number 59. I will probably come to you also that week, or else maybe Saturday the 31st. We'll see. It all depends what I have going on. So anyway, okay, that's it for my WIPs. And if you don't want to hear about me, most people do. I'm kidding. I don't know. People say I'm interesting. Anyway, and when I go to the doctor, I always say I'm a challenge. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm just going to talk maybe a couple minutes about what's been going on with me. Don't forget, if you want to be participating in the giveaway, put number 1 or Amish, something about Amish, or number 2 and something about peacock or peacock garden. I'll make sure that whatever you have in your comments, that your name goes in the drawing. So anyway, it was nice to be here and have everyone like my page, comment, and I always enjoy that. So thank you. So let me tell you about some personal things. When I was at my daughter's house in South Carolina, we went to the PGA golf tournament. It's called the RBC Heritage. My grandson was in the parade from his school. She chose certain students to be in the parade, and he was, so then he got 2 volunteer tickets. So he and his dad went Friday. I went with my daughter on Saturday, and I watch golf because it's quiet, especially when I'm stitching. I don't have to always be looking at the TV. I can listen and then look when I know they're ready to putt. So I do have my favorite players, and I went before with them when I was down there over, in April, and this was a real treat for me. So the walking and when we got there was fine. My daughter told me to get a mimosa, which I never had before, and that was pretty good. And then we stood at the 10th tee because that's where all my favorite players were going to be passing by. We watched them, hit the ball, and then it would come right near us, and then they'd hit it onto where the tee, I guess it's called the tee, where they putt to put it in the hole. So we were right in the middle of teeing off and getting it in the cup. So we were walking around for maybe 2 hours, but we were standing for quite a long time, and that used to bother me in the past. If I take a walk and I'd stand to talk to someone, my knee and my back and my hip would just kill me from not moving. So my knee, I knew it was tender and sore, but we stood there for about 2, maybe 2.5 hours because I needed to see all my favorite players walk by, and it was fun. I enjoyed that. But when I got back to their house, I iced it and took ibuprofen and all that. And then, long story short, I went to an orthopedic today that was recommended to me because my primary care gave me naproxen, which didn't do anything. So he ended up giving me a cortisone shot this morning, and told me to go home and ice it, and keep it elevated, but I had things I needed to do. So I ran my errands. Now I'm home for about maybe close to 2 hours to have it elevated with ice. So anyway, they call it, what do they call it? Degenerative joint disease, which I think is a fancy word for arthritis because I know I have arthritis. I had surgery back in 2001 for a cyst that was in the joint. He said I do have a little one, but that's not my problem. So he gave me cortisone, gave me a new kind of prescription. Nothing, heavy that's going to make me sleepy or whatever. So that's where I am right now. Tomorrow I have a trip to Lancaster, and I asked him if I could go, and he looked at me like he was ready to say no. It's not a good idea because it's not, I'll be walking in Lancaster. It's Amish country. And then as he was going out the door, he stopped and said, well, you know what? Go on your trip. We're all getting older. So I'm going. I'll take my ice with me. My brother's driving. I'll take the ice pack with me so I can sit in his car and use the ice for when we go from place to place. And my niece lives out there, so we'll get to see my niece. I think that's it. Yeah. Other than that, I'm busy. Always. But that's the way I want it to be. I'm going out to dinner tonight with my cousin that I don't see that often after my hair appointment, and then I go pick up my granddaughter from soccer practice because my daughter's going out with friends of hers and she doesn't get to go out that often. So I told her that not to rush. I would pick up my granddaughter. My older granddaughter who graduates in a month, Maya, she had her spring concert this week, which was they're singers, and the band is so wonderful. It's her senior high school, her high school spring concert, so that was really nice to go to. It was kind of like I got her roses, and then I gave them to her sister. I said, give these to your sister, and because it's her last one before she goes off to college, so it's kind of sad, but I'm not gonna cry. I'm just so happy and proud. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you. If you did stick around, I appreciate it. If you see anything that I messed up, please let me know. If you want me to do anything different, please let me know. Because you're watching this and you can see mistakes, or, you know, if it's not clear, or if it's too much light, or not enough light. But I try to adjust things. I don't think I'm very good at that. I'm looking at my toe because there's a bruise on it. I have fruit, and I got out, this is another story, see? I got out the whipped topping in a can to put on my fruit, and I lifted it by the lid. Now, you know these lids, you have to break the seal, so they're not on that tight. I lifted it out of the refrigerator by the lid, and the can fell on my foot. Now, it fell, I was wearing slippers that, you know, covered my toe, but would you believe it hurt? I saw stars. Would you believe that, that hurt? I won't do that again. I thought, what the heck? You grab the can and hold on to the can. You don't lift it by the lid. Anyway, lesson learned. But I didn't damage my toenail. It's just on the skin, so it's just black and blue. It's fine. It looks like a little smiley face. So I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and humoring me by listening. If you have listened all the way to the end, I appreciate it. And if you're tired of the stories, just let me know. I'll just do my whips and all that and be done with it. But sometimes I know when I watch Flosstube, I like to hear stories of what they do. Like Janet Jabber always says personal. Taryn Verleye does also personal stories, and I enjoy listening. They make me laugh. Black Ribbon Stitch Studio Denise, I love watching her because she makes me laugh, and a couple others. I'll have to list who I like to watch. That would be a long list in the description box. So thank you for watching, and I'm sorry, look at that time. I talked more than a few minutes. So anyway, I hope everyone has a good upcoming weekend, and I hope the weather's nice where you are. And I'll see you next time. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.